In this video, I'm going to be talking about my experiences with a shaman. Have you ever heard about soul retrieval? Well, I also hadn't heard about soul retrieval until sometime in 2011 when I was experiencing a lot of emotional turmoil and emotional upheaval and spiritual upheaval. You name it, I was feeling it. I was heartbroken, I was lost, I was confused. I had gone through so much that I can't even begin to tell you how horrible I was feeling. It's just one of those things that you have no words for. You know it, you feel it, you experience it, you feel that it's killing you, it's tearing you apart, and you're screaming internally and you just want to let it out, but you can't. So, in the process, so many things happen to you inside that you have no idea about, and you just get bruised and traumatized by your experiences, and you just don't have a way out. Basically, that's how I was feeling. So, anyway, I truly believe in God's love for me and for everyone else. And I truly believe that the solutions always come when you truly put it out there, when you're truly crying for help, if you're open and you're looking and you're seeking, when you ask, you shall truly and surely find. And that is how I bumped into the whole the modality of shamanism. That was my first encounter ever. I had never heard about a shaman. And my one-time experience with this shaman, this particular shaman, was very positive. It truly changed my life. A lot of things have happened in my life that have changed my life. So I'll just keep sharing them as I feel led to. Well, so how was my experience with this shaman? Okay, let me start by saying how I met this woman. So I heard I really am big into dreams, and dreams really mark many major turning points in my life. I have always been a dreamer. I dream, my dreams have always been vivid and they've always been very instructive. Instructive in the sense that if I listen to the information, usually it leads me to the next step. That is how I came out of my religion, religious upbringing. That is how my eyes were open to so many things. And well, that's how I'm on this path that I'm on, which I feel is just great. And I feel is so liberating and so freeing. So this lady was talking about dreams and, dream interpretation. And usually when I hear things about dreams, I'm usually curious because, it's just something that excites me. Dreams are just magical. I thoroughly and completely love dreams. So the woman who was talking about the dreams happened to be a shaman. Oh my gosh, this woman had the most beautiful voice. I don't know what it is about voices. Sometimes people's voices really have a lot of power, especially to me. Either the voice is going to be so off-putting. I know my voice is not really the best, but whatever. But anyway, this woman had this beautiful voice. I mean, you just have to hear it. But anyway, I'm not going to mention names here, but she had a very beautiful voice. But that's besides the point. The point is that she happened to be a shaman, and she was talking about soul retrieval. And soul retrieval basically means the whole concept around soul retrieval is that as we grow up, we lose bits and pieces of ourselves. And, when we come to certain points in our lives and some traumatic events happen and we lose bits and pieces of ourselves, and the soul carries on, and without the pieces that fell off in the ether somewhere because of some traumatic event. So if you have undergone something like a molestation, not that I went through any of that, but if something traumatic as that has happened to you, usually it will be so painful that your soul, you decide to move on, but that part of you that was molested, that where the thing broke off when you got molested, that part of you remains behind. And so you keep going forward in life with a bit of your soul and so many other soul fragments left behind. So basically, the concept of soul retrieval seeks to bring back all those pieces so that you can be whole again. That's why so many people kind of feel empty and feel so lost, like something is missing from their lives. It's basically because bits and pieces of your soul were left behind at some point when some event happened in your life. I never knew anything about this concept until I met this shaman. But for me, how I work, I use my intuition most of the time to make decisions, and it's usually an instant thing. I'm not like the kind of person who's constantly waiting to analyze things and think, oh, I heard about soul retrieval. Maybe I need to think about this for a minute. I'm the kind of person that when I hear something, I listen to my gut instincts and my gut feelings. I'm very splenic in the sense that I'm just instant, boom, I get it, I want it, and that's how it's going to be. So from that point on, how my life rolls from the moment I make the decision using my gut instinct is just up to me. It's an adventure. And I found that listening and following my gut instinct and my feelings the way I do has always brought the best results for me. So I stand by that. So anyway, I made the decision um, to make an appointment with this shaman to see what she could do for me. So she happens to be in Ireland, and the shamanic experience and the soul retrieval experience was going to be a long distance experience. And she said, well, I'm going to, we can set an appointment for a particular date. And on that day, all you have to do is lay down on your bed, close your eyes, and I'll do my thing. So naturally, I'm like, what? What are you talking about? She said, well, I'm going to come there and I'll find you and I'll do the soul retrieval long distance. And to me, this was like, what? What? Well, but I was just like, okay, I'll stay open to the concept and see what happens. So naturally, on that day, when we had the appointment for the soul retrieval, I had explained to her the issues that I was facing and that I had. I explained to her the issues I was facing, but I told her since she was much more knowledgeable about the areas of soul retrieval, it's better for her to work on whatever she feels is most important based on what she sees when she's working on me, because this was supposed to be something being done on a spiritual level which I didn't really understand, but I trusted it. I trusted it and I wanted it. Okay, so let's not get that twisted. So on that day, the appointment was for 8 o'clock in the morning. So I lay in my bed wondering what was going to happen. I was thinking that, oh my gosh, any minute now, a ghost is going to walk into the room, or I'm going to see some kind of spirit, because I didn't know what to expect. So I was thinking, my mind was really running on overdrive, and I was very, very anxious. I had said my prayers. I had, protected myself to the best that I could. I had asked, all the spiritual beings that support me to stand with me and protect me from every kind of evil, should there be any, need for that kind of combat. So I was just trying to get myself ready, but it was so exciting. So anyway, so I lay there, and then I don't even know what happened. My tears just began to roll. My tears were coming down, and I just was so calm and so relaxed. Apparently, the shaman was on the scene on a spiritual level. So I have no idea what she was doing. My heart was racing, but not in a fearful way. But I could almost feel the energy of something happening, but I wasn't really sure what it was. But I could feel a presence, not physically, but I'm not even sure what level. Maybe intuitively, I could sense it. I could sense that something was going on in my body, and it was just the most amazing experience. So anyway, so the shaman did what she had to do. So now, after the phone call, I was curious to find out what she had found out or what she had done. And the agreement was that after the shamanic experience, which was going to take at least an hour. Was it an hour or 45 minutes? I can't remember. That the agreement was that I was supposed to call her on Skype so that she could explain to me what had happened and what had occurred and blah, blah, blah. So anyway, I get on the phone. I get on my computer because she does Skype. So I got on my computer and I Skyped her, and she told me that she had found like my soul, and my soul had got lost. A piece of my soul that she had found and that she had brought back and merged with my soul, my current soul. Uh, what am I saying? Okay. I mean, sometimes you know the way the mind works. I mean, so you'll have to bear with me. Anyway, she found my soul. And this soul that she found, I call this soul that she found Little Caroline, because she found Little Caroline, and she brought Little Caroline and merged Little Caroline with the current Caroline. And sh now, I mean, apparently now we're a big happy family. Little Caroline is back. So Little Caroline, apparently, this piece of my soul had been lost, had had been left behind when I was 7 years old. And I was 7 years old. I had felt abandoned. And she described the person that she saw at 7 years old, and that person was me, because she told me that she found Little Caroline, and Little Caroline was sitting on a field, and she described the dress that Little Caroline was wearing. Apparently that dress was one of my favorite dresses ever. How would she have known anything like this, really? And I remember the feelings, and some of the things she told me was so accurate and so on point. Oh my gosh, I knew for a fact that something amazing had happened. And she asked Little Caroline what Little Caroline was doing sitting on the field, and Little Caroline said, well, I'm sitting here because I feel abandoned. And I've always, as far as I remember, felt a sense of abandonment and a sense of not being able to belong. So, I mean, that really helped to resolve a lot of things for me. So anyway, Little Caroline was merged with Big Caroline, and here we are together happily ever after. Hopefully I'm not leaving her anywhere, or she's not planning to leave. So, and in the process, she also had to deal with a lot of, she told me about the condition of my heart as she saw it from the spiritual side, and how heartbroken I was. I mean, these were some of the truths. Some of the things she told me were, I mean, at least 99% of the things she told me was so accurate and so true and so deep. And she told me about all the measures that she had taken to try to heal those wounds and all those things. I mean, I cried and cried like a baby on that day. I really did. It was such an experience. It was so amazing. And to be quite honest, guys, I'm talking for myself. That day marked the beginning of, I mean, I have never been able to sink into a depression of the kind that I used to sink into ever since that day. My life leveled out on some level that I can't even begin to explain to you. My emotions leveled out. The fear that I had in my heart, it's almost like something happened on that day that kind of fixed a lot of things. And that kind of gave me a stepping stone into the next phase of things, you know. Oh my gosh, the things that, I mean, I feel so grateful that I bumped into this woman, because whatever it was that she was doing, I would totally recommend it for anyone who's suffering from some kind of depression, or some kind of, you know, who needs to understand certain things about themselves and have just no way out. For me, it just worked out, and I am so thankful for that soul retrieval experience. Okay, so that's what happened, and that was my experience with the shaman. I completely recommend that healing modality of soul retrieval. Find a good shaman if you want to, and who does soul retrieval, who's grounded, and you know, just open yourself to the beautiful things that and the beautiful opportunities that are out there. This is your life. You have one life to live. Enjoy it to the fullest, and remember, you're a spiritual being, you're a powerful being, and you're loved, and you're constantly supported, and anything is possible for them who believe. Do you believe?